Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another very awesome episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And in this episode, we are checking out the new CowanSim R66 Helicopter. And this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Stick around. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, you guys. So as I said, here we are at the CowanSim R66 Helicopter. This thing is absolutely fantastic. The exterior textures obviously meeting up with just about everything that CowanSim does. It helps if I hit the right buttons here. The textures are just absolutely stunning. And it looks very similar to the R44, which is to be expected. So enough with the outside. Let's go ahead and jump on the inside of the helicopter. That's where the magic happens. Let's see if I can get myself where I need to be. We are also in the Pimax crystal. So for those of you who are interested, you guys can save a little bit of money on the Pimax crystal right now. It is on sale. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure that you guys pick one up because these things are absolutely wonderful. All of my computer hardware and stats are down below, you guys. The performance fixes that I did the other day about changing out or removing the shader cache all worked very, very nicely. We've seen a massive improvement. We are up in Canada right now. I just literally picked one of the most remote airports I could find. And so we're going to go just sort of fly around the area and see what's all about. Again, as you can see, the texturing is done absolutely stunning. No issues there whatsoever. I will say, now that the aircraft was just released, it doesn't do as well in VR as some of the other helicopters and other aircraft that I've seen. So as a test, right now I'm getting about 45 frames per second. Now that's with motion smoothing or smart smoothing, whatever you want to call it, turned on, as well as DLSS that we are using in regard to that. So I want to point that out because in other aircraft, I did the Cessna 172, the default version, as well as the Black Square mod. And then I also did the TBM 850 as a comparison. TBM 850 I was getting about 10 frames higher. So I really think it's an issue with optimization. This is the first release of the helicopter, but inside the crystal on an RTX 4080 with a 3900 XT processor, I'm really actually pretty satisfied with it. Hopefully things are nice and smooth for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get the aircraft started up. Now you have a checklist card that can pop up right here. I've sort of gone through it a couple times, so we're just going to do a basic startup, nothing too crazy, and just have a little bit of fun with the helicopter. So first, we're going to turn our battery on. One thing I will say, the checklist says that we are to keep the fuel valve in cutoff until we reach about 15% on the N2 or N rating. Now, my problem with that is every time that I've tried that, I don't get any kind of engine torque or N rating. Now, N2, it makes sense for that not to happen yet until we actually get rotation. But I don't even get any torque or any engine torque. So that is a concern of mine. So what I have found is actually closing this is what works. And we can put our little guard on there. That's kind of cool here. You got another one back here for the main fuel shutoff valve. Okay. So it's all pretty fun and games. Pretty cool. Now, I don't know if they're also worried about this fuel shutoff or this one, so I might have them mistaken. I actually didn't try doing that procedure with the one down here next to the collective. But let's go ahead and keep going here. So we have our battery on. There's our nav lights, our strobe lights. We want to turn the starter to enable, and now we're going to press our starter button. The sounds on the helicopter are also very, very nice. Waiting for about 15%. We get about 10. I'm going to start rolling the fuel in. And you can do lights tests and things like that. All of those are functional. Spin the avionics on, turn the generator on. Rotor brake is above us here. Wait for our avionics to set. Set our barometric pressure. All right, let's go see what this area is all about. Try to do a quick hover test. I'm not very good at it yet, but we'll try it. Okay, looks good. We're gonna come up and over. And let's go check out the scenery. Trim seems to work very nicely. Still getting used to the trim. I am using spad.next for all of my control bindings. Nothing is bound inside the sim. I do everything that I can independent. The aircraft flies very, very nicely. I am also using my Virpil RTC rotor collective with the Black Hawk grip. I will tell you guys that for years and years, I used either my Thrustmaster Warthog or my Virpil CM3 throttle for my helicopters. And when I finally decided to get a collective, it was certainly a game changer. It feels more natural. It feels more like what you would expect with a helicopter. So if you guys are ever in the position where you are able to do so, I highly recommend it. It absolutely changes the game with helicopters. It's me trying to trim right now. I'm sort of all over the place. There's got to be something that is very peaceful about living in an area like this where you're sort of just off by yourself and on your own. The same token, I think you'd have to be in the right state of mind, because I feel like this could be a very lonely environment to live in permanently. It's certainly beautiful. I would still love to try that show alone. I would love to be on the series alone. I think that would be cool. And terrifying at the same time. I don't think that I would be some stellar, awesome, win the whole thing. I don't know. Like, I get it, man. The loneliness would get to you. But there's definitely something beautiful and inspiring about people who survive out here all by themselves. Hey, what is that? Look at that little park. I don't know if that's a... looks like a house or maybe a little runway. The helicopter is very easy to control. But again, I've been in it a few times today, so this isn't exactly a first impressions video. But it's much more forgiving than some of the more complex helicopters. Even the 206 is probably more difficult than this one. Sure looks like somewhere for like a STOL aircraft. A tiny little airport there. Nothing on the 530, but never know. Maybe a little private airfield. It's kind of cool. It's a very, and what I mean by forgiving aircraft, I think is just, it's much easier to learn than some of the others. It's a fast little bugger too. You really got to watch your airspeed, as I'm discovering in this aircraft. I have found myself turning and burning. Uh-oh. Oh no, he forgot to turn his pitot heat on. Mayday, mayday, we have a stuck speedometer airspeed indicator. Uh-oh. I wasn't thinking about that when I flew in the snow. Right there. I just have to, you know what, we're going to set it down so I don't wreck this thing. Let me try to trim it nose aft a little bit. Hang on. Maybe we don't have to set it down. I just need to get it to a point where I can let go of the stick for a minute. Cyclic. Alright, anti-ice is on. Let's hope that it gives me my airspeed indicator. Oops. Are you in icing conditions? No, we're fine. It's kind of cool that was modeled, though. I know it is with many aircraft, but this is a very, very fair price for the aircraft. It's about $30 US, give or take taxes and change. I like the way the 530 was implemented there. I like its positioning. You also have a 430 option. Where is it? There's a little switch there to the left of where it says R66. It says panel options. And if we click that, it'll change the altimeter and HSI over to the 430 configuration. Alright, let's see how silly we can get with this helicopter. Wouldn't be me if I didn't do something dumb. Although, to me, that's my favorite part of flying helicopters, is screaming across the treetops. I do the same thing in DCS. The Huey and DCS, take all the combat out of it, take all the troop transport, things like that. And I could fly that thing for hours, just flying across the map, going through the canyons, going through the mountains, screaming across the ground, you know, just picking the leaves off as I come past the trees. I just love it, especially in VR, and then with the sound of the Huey. That's the other thing I will say about this aircraft. It's got a really nice sound set. Yeah, I have totally lost my airspeed indicator. And you know what, though? I might have missed the pitot heat. The anti-ice switch may not be enough. I'm not 100% sure where it is, so we're just gonna fly it by the eyeballs. Ooh, baby. And I will say, for helicopter flight, the VR experience is it's such a big difference between with and without. I feel like with helicopters, I mean, it's crucial for all flight, but with helicopters, that oh, you know what? I think I was supposed to turn the damn starter off. Oops. Damn, it's failing all over the place here. With helicopter flight, it's even more crucial to have that depth perception. It makes takeoff and landings and positioning significantly easier. For sure. I could very easily be overspeeding this aircraft by now and not even know it. Oh, that's floats. Read it, Fredona, read it. Really hoping we get that soon. By the way, all the doors open, things like that as well. In case you guys are wondering. Some people are like me and love that kind of stuff. I'm definitely flying it with relative ease. There it is. Oh, I turned away from it. I just realized it was pointing in the wrong direction. I'm an idiot. Little harder of a landing than I was wanting, but hey, it works out, right? Love the sounds. Beautiful sounds with this aircraft. All right. And that, my friends, is the R66 from CowanSim. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's an absolutely fabulous helicopter and definitely recommend you guys checking it out. As always, folks, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.